Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Geezerology. Today, we're doing a listening assignment. And recently, perusing through the Bandcamp webpage, I came across a group called Daddy Longlegs. And I was kind of intrigued by the description that I read of them. So I listened to their newest album, and I kind of dug this. So I asked Scott if he would give a listen to it. So, Scott, I'm kind of interested in what your initial impressions are of Daddy Longlegs.
Daddy Longlegs is the name of the leader of this little three-piece band. I guess it's also the name of the band, sort of an Alice Cooper situation, right? Yeah, this was Street Sermons is the name of the album. It's described as blues punk. That's the most description I most heard of it. There's some street blues here. I don't hear a whole lot of punk. It's more garage rock than punk. But I don't hear any punk attitude here. We haven't heard anything like this in a while. And right straight up, I'm going to give you a mixed review on this one. There are about 3 tracks on here that I really like. And the rest of it, you can have it. I'll pull out the 3 tracks and drop them on a playlist, get those in rotation, but I'm not gonna listen to this whole album anymore. There are 12 tracks on this CD. The 3 tracks that I like, I'll go in chronological order. The second track, called Nightmare. Things are not what they seem. It's a nice rocking little number, where this guy has a little rock star Elvis going on here. And then the other 2 tracks I like, which are spread across the album, the 6th one is the name of the track is Star. All you are is a star for me. All you are is a star for me. The 11th track, called Stop What You're Doing. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. You gotta stop what you're doing. All right now. And both of these are just kind of nice, quiet, sort of a Nick Cave vibe going on here, and I really like it. It's just the guy's got just a good deep voice. He has a nice frontman presence here on these 3 tracks. The rest of the tracks on here, there's 7 levels of musical hell, and one of those levels has banjo players in it, and another one of these levels has harmonica players in it. And so there are just too much get down dirty harmonica blues going on, and I'm not a fan of that stuff. A little bit of that goes a long way with me. I think the big problem with this record is the production. The guy who produced it, his name is Oakley Munson. He started a small band in New York or something, and it's a band that never made it big. It was called the Rondells, and I guess they spent time being a warm-up act for bigger bands on tours. Like they toured with Sonic Youth and a couple other bands back in the 90s and the aughts, I guess. So he's a guy who's been around, sort of as a fringe player, maybe as a support player. He just produces the hell out of the same. I find it really annoying. It's just way too harsh. A lot of auto tuning going on here, and to me, it just takes all the life out of it and just puts this nasty stuff on top of it. I think that's the biggest problem with this album. I would a lot of this other stuff that I said I didn't like. I probably would have been a little more receptive to it with if this Oakley Munson's production didn't get in the way. I just thought he just ruined what might have been a decent record. I think harmonica based street blues. I mean, that stuff, just for it to be really good, it needs to just be raw and down in the dirt. And that rawness and the dirty stuff on it is what this producer effectively just was trying to get rid of, and trying to make it sound like a polished album, and it doesn't work. I'm not going to give this album a thumbs down. I'm actually going to give it a thumbs up, just because these 3 tracks are so dang good that it's worth going through. If you're in the right mood, it's worth going through and going through some of this other stuff that I don't like to get to the really good stuff.
I like the mixture that I hear with this band. I hear elements of rockabilly. I do hear some blues, some roots rock. They've got some social commentary on there, and that punk blues label does get put on them a lot. And Brian Hurd, the frontman, says that he doesn't believe that's an accurate label. He considers them more a rhythm and blues band. He described it as a hip up tempo with a minimal sound. And that was one of the things I did. I kind of felt this was a minimalist approach, something that I hadn't heard in quite a while. And I could easily picture this. I could easily picture sitting in some sweaty club somewhere listening to this band up on a little stage. And that to me is where I think they would really excel. And that's just the image that I get from listening.
I could too, but that's where I had a problem with his production, because this guy produced this record and made it sound like he was trying to pull it out of those dark, dingy clubs and make it sound shiny and nice, and just ripped a lot of life out of it by doing that.
I can see, I could concede that to a point. I don't think it's as bad as you react to it, but I've watched some videos of this band, and they do excel on stage.
Sing the old man blues. They're trading your Playboy for some hush puppy shoes. One more time.